All right, let's get right into it. A baby care brand that tons of parents love is suddenly at the center of a huge controversy. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what's going on, why so many people are outraged, and what it all really means. And this is where it all kicks off. This quote, which was actually found on the packaging for a baby thermometer, is just one of the marketing lines that went completely viral and started a massive online firestorm.
Yeah, you heard that right. FridaBaby, a name that's in a lot of family homes, is getting absolutely hammered online for what people are calling sexualized marketing. And the big issue here? These are products for babies. Okay, so here's how we're going to unpack this whole thing. First, we'll talk about the brand itself. Then, we'll get into the specific marketing that caused all the drama. After that, we'll track the online backlash, look at the company's past, and really dig into why this matters so much. And finally, we'll talk about what could happen next. So, first things first, let's get some background on the company at the heart of this whole story. So FridaBaby was founded back in 2014 by Chelsea Hirschhorn, a mother of 4. The brand totally blew up because of its super practical baby gear, like the nose Frida and other essentials. But what really made them stand out was their whole vibe. They used bold, sometimes raw humor to connect with new parents who were in the thick of it.
Okay, now for the main event. Let's look at the exact stuff that went viral and started this whole mess. This is the evidence that set the internet on fire. The whole controversy just exploded when people started sharing screenshots like this one. This phrase, "how about a quickie," was right there on the product packaging, and believe me, it was just the tip of the iceberg.
And then there was this one, a graphic for a humidifier that says, "I get turned on easily." Now, for a lot of parents, this is where a serious line was crossed. You've got this suggestive phrase on a product that's supposed to go in a baby's room, and that just set off all kinds of alarm bells.
And here's another one that really made the rounds. "I'm a power sucker." Now, you can see how they were probably trying to be playful about the product's function, right? But the sexual innuendo was just so obvious that people found it incredibly inappropriate for something made for a child.
So, as you can probably guess, the public reaction was, well, it was fast and it was not pretty. Let's take a look at the backlash.
The response was just immediate shock and anger. Parents and other people online were using words like sick, twisted, and disgusting to describe what they were seeing. The main accusation was that the brand was sexualizing products for babies.
And we're not talking about a small niche conversation here. This thing went nuclear online. Just one single post on X, the platform that used to be Twitter, got millions of views, and the outrage just spread like wildfire across TikTok and Reddit.
So this is where the debate really splits, right? On one side, you have the defense. People saying this is just relatable humor for exhausted adults. It's that whole millennial parent marketing style that's supposed to be raw and honest. But the criticism, which was way louder, was that no matter what they intended, the language just crossed a major ethical line when you attach it to products for infants.
So, you might be wondering, did this come out of nowhere, or is this kind of their thing? Let's take a look at the company's history with this kind of edgy marketing. If you look back, FridaBaby has always leaned into being provocative. This isn't totally new. They've used really blunt humor in the past for their postpartum recovery ads, and they even did a pretty controversial campaign for a breast milk ice cream. Their whole strategy has been about pushing boundaries. It just seems like in 2026, that strategy finally crashed into a much wider audience, and the result was this massive backlash. So, as all this criticism was building, people online started noticing that certain pages on the company's website were quietly being taken down, including some old staff bios. But here's the thing. As of now, FridaBaby hasn't put out any big official statement to address the controversy directly, which has just left everyone wondering what they're going to do.
All right, so why is this such a massive deal? I mean, it's about so much more than just a couple of weird jokes.
This whole firestorm really gets at some huge cultural questions. First, it makes us all talk about what's okay and what's not okay when you're marketing stuff for kids. Where's the line between being clever for the parents and just being creepy? Second, it's about humor itself. You know, humor can be a total lifesaver for parents, but when does it stop being relatable and start feeling wrong? And finally, maybe the biggest one is trust. Parents have to be able to trust the brands they let into their homes, and they need to feel like those companies get it.
This whole thing has kicked off a really serious conversation. So let's look at what's happening right now and what might be next for brands in this space.
As of right now, the online anger is not slowing down. The calls to boycott FridaBaby are all over parent forums and social media. We're seeing tons of parents saying they're done with the brand. So the consequences are very real, and they're happening as we speak.
Which brings us right back to the central question in all of this. When you're aiming for edgy humor for parents, where is the line? Was this all just a clumsy but harmless attempt to connect with stressed-out parents? Or was this a huge marketing blunder that crossed a line that should never be crossed? Honestly, the answer to that question could change how brands talk to families for a long time to come.